And so you want to make sure that you are doing that. You want to make sure that you are not just potting yourself and planting yourself in the wrong pots. And so it's very tedious to remove your roots from a pot once they've started to spread and distribute themselves and basically take hold of, the soil. And you don't ever want to do that. And then you have to kind of cut ties. You got to cut yourself back. That means leaving behind parts of yourself that were never meant to be potted and housed in those locations and areas or relationships or businesses altogether. And so as you're considering these things, make sure that you understand what that pot offers before you even get mixed in with that soil. Because your seeds matter. Where you plant your seeds, where you sow your seeds matter. And I think that this is an issue that, a lot of people don't talk about, spiritually speaking. It matters where you do your work. It matters where you plant. It matters where you sow. It matters because by you sowing, by you putting that seed in there, you're propelling forth that work and whatever spirits that entity or that business or that collaboration, that vision, all of those things are housed under. So be mindful of where you pot yourself, guys. Be mindful. And so right before your eyes in the natural, sometimes growth is happening there. Sometimes the growth is happening right there in your stillness, right before your very own eyes in the natural. But remember, it's still spiritual. Everything is still spiritual. So yes, it may seem like it's just taking root right here in the natural right now, but it's already happened in the spiritual sense. There are things going on behind the scene that we're getting things in alignment and being orchestrated for you to get to the point where you actually see it in the natural. And so it's always working in the spiritual. And so this is why it's important for you to dissect it before you start to get intertwined with it, because you don't know if you don't use the spirit of discernment to see what took place in the spiritual account before you even became involved with that part. Up until the point where you got involved, what happened before that in the spiritual realm? How did it get here? Where did this fruitfulness come from? Because we already talked about it. The magicians, they imitated the prophets. Remember that? The account of the Israelites, Pharaoh, Exodus. Go back and examine it. And so, guys, that is the message. And as always, guys, I pray that you take it back to our Heavenly Father and you ask him, what pots am I trying to force myself into? What seeds am I sowing that could potentially